Well, g'day everybody. I've been asked by a few followers on Instagram about some of the books I've been reading. So I thought, what better way to do it than do a bit of a book review. So initially the interest was in a book I'd purchased, but I haven't yet read. It is next on the list. More to that. This one is on this book, First Casualty by Toby Harnden, who is an ex-British naval officer and a journalist. He's dual citizenship, US and England. I ran across him and this book on Andy Stumpf's Cleared Hot podcast, and it piqued my interest. Suffice to say, I have an interest in military conflict and military history, but also in the dynamics of politics and corporate influence in the world. This book is fantastic. I can't say enough good things about it. It is extremely well researched from what I can gather from my limited knowledge on the subjects addressed in this. And Tony has done a magnificent job. Essentially what the book is about is the American response, which is distills down to the CIA's response to the bombings of 9/11. Now you can have your opinions on that and how that went and what it was. I have mine on it. I'm not sharing them here. I'm not taking away from what your thoughts are. But what is really made clear to me anyway, others may take other things out of this book, was the commitment to security and a good free life by individuals within a whole lot of different groups. Like, this book goes into that. I won't give too much to say, other than to, if you want to know where this book ends up centered around, is go on YouTube and go to the channel Liveth Forevermore and have a look at the video, the Kuala Ijangi prison uprising, and you'll see the different parties that are involved in this. But as I said, it's about the commitment, the cost, and the burden that individuals within different organisations bear to protect their peers and citizens in the world. But what is also drawn out somewhat in this, if you're reading between the lines, is the influence, and you don't really have to read that deep between the lines, is the influence of politics and everything else that, other than the vote, influences politicians in conflicts and in international disagreements around the world. Really, it is high time people start to think about that and delve a bit deeper on it, because the individuals that fight and defend our country and other Western countries from other forms of belief and extremism are well-meaning and carry a big burden. But politics plays its hand, and at times it's extremely grubby and for all the wrong reasons. So you can get this book from Booktopia here in Australia. It's been published around the world from what I have read. It is really well written. It's got heaps of notes in it, heaps of explanations. and a whole lot of credits in it. If you have any interest in modern day conflict, even the errors, the mistakes, and what it's like, as they refer to, the fog of war, you'll enjoy this, but it'll also open your eyes to what the politicians do surrounding those events to potentially set themselves up or curry favour with other groups, which may not be in the best interest of the citizens of any of the nations involved. So yeah, get on it. And like I said, heard about it on Andy Stumpf's Cleared Hot podcast. Check it out too. He has some great people on. I thought also, for those that maybe aren't into the non-fiction and you want a bit of escapism and you're into hunting and firearms and all that stuff, you may have seen over the last couple of weeks coming into your feed on YouTube and a few other platforms, ads for a series called The Terminal List. Now, if you're not aware of that, I'd imagine that a lot of people here in Australia possibly aren't. The Terminal List is a fiction book written by Jack Carr. He was an ex-Navy SEAL. He uses his experiences and knowledge to construct some fantastic stories. Now, I have the first book, Terminal List, somewhere. I can't find it. So that's the second, third, which I both read, and the fourth, which I'm yet to read. The fifth has just been released. Terminal List TV series is going to star Chris Pratt, directed by Antoine Fuqua, who directed Shooter and some other good movies. Look, it is just gritty, violent, political, vengeful, everything that makes an awesome escapism novel. We've had some furiously cold weather across southeastern Australia last week. I can't think of anything. If you can't get away into the hills, find a sunny spot and grabbing one of these. Once again, I got these through Booktopia, and getting into it, you'll find it hard to put down. So yeah, some great books about more people should read more stuff. It's something that I used to do a lot of and I'm getting back into more and more. So yeah, and the next book to come, which I'll likely start reading this afternoon or this evening, is this one, A Quiet Place of Violence. Apparently, for the people that have read it, very well-renowned book. I came across the author in a podcast with Hal Herring of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers podcast, the BHA Podcast and Blast. Just, it's about hunting and ethics and what that meant to him and his experience and all that stuff. So I'll be really interested to read that, and I'll give a review on it. So look, get into it. It's something that, since social media and all that shit, a lot of the stuff's fallen on the wayside. Like, you don't have to take a paper book, Kindle on your iPad, whatever, but the beauty of a book, any of these books, is I'll throw them in my hunting pack and I'll be out there mid-afternoon when things are quiet, find a sunny spot out of the wind and might take a break for half an hour and just relax and read, and then I'm set to go again. So it's eye-opening in a lot of respects. And a discussion I had this morning with a fellow Instagrammer is that we should be opening our eyes more to what's going on in the world. And books like First Casualty, they can do it. So get out there, get amongst it, and enjoy. Thanks a lot for your time.